Namaste, Namaskar, Vanakkam, Sashirikal, and welcome back to Grow with the Jan family. I'm Anjali.
And today we're going to be doing a little bit of politics and news. So we've done a few things on the UN speeches. You guys have asked us about doing things in Article 370 and 35A. And we just recently did about the surprise with Turkey and Malaysia kind of not siding with India anymore and taking Pakistan's side. Seems to be a little bit on religious grounds. So, but there was ZAKIR NAIK on it, and so you guys had asked us to respond to some of his stuff, and so we found a little speech from him and from SADHGURU, and we've done SADHGURU stuff as well, and so it's kind of comparing the two on Kashmir and Article 370 and 35A. So let's start this up. ZAKIR NAIK,
as far as
Article 370 and 35A.
Taken by Indian government recently, by the BJP government, especially Narendra Modi, is to repeal or cancel constitutional. It's unconstitutional because you know that Kashmir was independent
It's not unconstitutional.
land. When the partition took place between India and Pakistan, Kashmir became a part with having clauses. It's independent and no one can buy any property there, no one can become a citizen. All these clauses were there, which slowly, many of the clauses were not followed. Now the main clause of 370, they want to repeal it, and they want to make it into a union territory, which is unconstitutional. But there is a law in the government that if you have 2/3 majority in the upper house and the lower house, if you have majority in the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, you can change the constitution. That's the reason they are changing now, which have many repercussions. What should be done? I believe that the Muslims all over the world should object to it and put as much as pressure as possible to undo this.
Religion.
And as you said rightly, that they are doing something what similar happened in Palestine. And Palestine, we know, it belonged to the Muslims, to the Palestinians. During the war, they gave the Jews just shelter. They gave them shelter and they took away the full house. And now when the Palestinians are crying that give back a house, you're calling Palestinians a terrorist. Same thing is happening in Kashmir. And you know, they're trying to do a survey which model works. And if they think that the Palestinian model worked, but at least for the Palestinian cause, alhamdulillah, to a great extent the Muslims were united. Not that we could protect it completely, but alhamdulillah, to a great extent we were united. But the other issues we are not. I don't know how far will the Muslim countries react to this, but logically speaking, Islamically speaking, all the Muslim countries should unite and try and protect the rights of the Kashmiris. The ruling party in India and the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, what do? From the Indian Constitution, they delete Act number 370. Most of you may not be knowing about Act number 370. When the Britishers left, they divided India into 3 parts. West Pakistan, East Pakistan, which later on became Bangladesh and India. Why? Because they wanted to divide the Muslim into 3. So 1/3 went to Pakistan approximately, 1/3 went to Bangladesh, 1/3 stayed in India. And later on they divided East and West Pakistan, 3 different countries, let the Muslim side. Kashmir
Divide India into 3.
Opted, okay, we don't mind joining India under the condition that we are independent. So in the Indian Constitution, Article 370 says that Kashmir is independent. It will have its own constitution. It will have its own laws. It will have its own government. They may be in the umbrella of India, but they are independent. No non-Kashmiri can come and buy land in Kashmir. All this is mentioned.
But India is paying for them.
70 years later, the BJP government, which is anti-Islamic government,
Peace
what do they
TV,
do?
I think
They want to
he's on the
scrap
wrong
this.
channel.
And only way they can do is by getting majority in the lower house and upper house, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. And recent election, they got the majority in both the houses, and they scrapped this. It is unconstitutional. And they made it into a union territory. There are some Muslim countries objecting, but
He's been a part of India.
we aren't united.
When we make a nation,
I'm very confused.
the most fundamental aspect of a nation is its sovereignty, that is the borders. Whatever else we may have our ideologies, we may have our philosophies, concepts, languages, race, religion, ethnicity, all kinds of things. But the fundamental thing is geography. So the fundamental mistake we've made at the time of making this nation is, we did not define the geographical boundaries very clearly. We left it to ambiguity. For that ambiguity, blood is flowing right now, unfortunate. But it has to be fixed, at least now. I feel in the next 3 to 5 years' time, which is India, which is not India must be clear to every Indian, so that we don't continue to do this forever.
Yeah, unfortunately.
How? What was that test of Indianness or patriotism that
No,
we
no,
would
I'm not
apply
talking
to our
about
citizens?
patriotism, I'm talking about geography. I'm saying, if this is the border, I must know that the chair that you're sitting on is not mine. Right now I think it's mine and you think this is yours. Now unnecessarily it goes on. We must make it very clear, whatever it takes. If geography is not clearly demarcated, endlessly this will go on. It will not allow us to focus on our economic development, well-being of the people, education, 1,000 things we need to do in this country. It will not let us do that, both in terms of economic investment and this bloodletting that is happening all the time. So one thing we must do is we must be very clear, where is India's borders? 100%.
Are you saying that the Kashmir problem will be solved in the next 3 years? Is that
It must
even
be
possible?
solved. If you are interested in the nation, it's not Kashmir problem. I don't think you should refer to it as Kashmir problem, it's India's problem. We must settle it.
How is that possible? We've done this for 7 decades, we've tried it and failed.
The thing is…
We tried for the last 5 years and failed.
see, what has not happened till now, if you believe it cannot happen in future, well, that is very defeatist. That's not how I look at life. What has not been done till now can be done now. And I think the ground is being prepared for that. And that is why you see this little bit of escalation. Unfortunately, lives are being lost. But we must ensure these sacrifices don't go waste.
Sadhguru, this new government, since we started talking about how in the next 3 years ground is being prepared for new initiatives of, doing things which were unthinkable till now. Article 370 is something that you've spoken very strongly about. For 5 years, there was no movement on it. Do you hope that finally on that there will be a solution? There will be delimitation, Article 370, 35A, all of this.
See, very clearly, when this article was written, for whatever reasons, I don't want to do a post-mortem of history. What's been done has been done, all right? But very clearly, they said it's temporary and transient. I want to understand, what is India's idea of temporary and transient? What is your idea of temporary and transient? I think 70 years, which means 2 generations of people have gone by, if you still think temporary and transient things can continue in this country forever, then that means you're not looking for a solution. I think it's time to look for a solution. I do not think in terms of 370, 35A, not in this context. What I'm telling you is just this. As I said earlier, every Indian must know which is India, which is not India, so that we don't continue this endless bickering going on. And it's not just bickering, it is bloodletting going on. Whether it happens as a major war or a daily happening, If you account for this, the whole year, 365 days, how many people die? It's a reasonable war, all right? So, we must clearly decide which is India, which is not India. If you don't have the courage and the commitment to take those steps, then we will continue to bleed like this, and this level of bleeding may not remain at this level. As somebody else gets more empowered,
Exactly.
you will see the bloodletting may happen at a much larger scale.
Can this government do it?
Well, a government with such a mandate, if it cannot do it, nobody else can do it. They should do it.
Also, there are people in the valley who say that if 370 goes, if such a solution is even attempted, they will put down the flag of India.
Country.
In face of such statements, and these are mainstream parties, how can we do anything?
See, in India, anybody can make any statement, because there is no consequence for making irresponsible statements in this country. People can make absolutely irresponsible statements and still hold responsible positions. Unfortunately, we've allowed that to happen. So, they can say something today, they will say something tomorrow according to their political advantages. I don't think that's an issue.
It's true.
People are talking about… First of all, stop talking about this as Kashmiri problem. This is India's problem. What does the people of India think? Somebody said, why not plebiscite? I said, why not? Let's vote in the whole country. Which way we want to go, then you will know which way it is. Why are you treating it as a Kashmiri problem? The moment you say it's a Kashmiri problem, you are saying it is not India. No, in my mind and heart, and so in most of the people, over 100 crore people, see it as India, all right? And it was India in 1948 or whatever. So, rethinking partition once again means we have amnesia. One partition happened, nearly 600,000 people died. 3–4 million people went this way, that way. In both the nations, they're not settled. It's not about just us, even that side. Those who went from here to there, they're still suffering. Those who came from there to here after 70 years, many are still like refugees. Do you want such situations once again in India? We don't want such situations. If you have not learned from that lesson, it's just foolish. We don't want any more partitions. How to take these people ahead should be the goal right now. This is not about different identities continuing with the same thing. That identity was fixed in 1947 or 48. After that, it's over. You can't rethink it every few years.
You don't think there is the fear that a part of our country will secede? That is what is said every time that there is a rethink on the instrument of…
See, who is to decide that?
The Kashmiri people?
No,
the
the
Kashmiri
Indian
parties?
people will decide that.
Right, because it's part of India.
People of
Kashmir's
India
part of India.
and the government of
It's not
India must
Kashmir's
decide
problem.
that.
It's India's problem. We have to stop the bloodshed. Yeah. That was an interesting completely two different sides of the story, you know, and obviously ZAKIR NAIK, his siding is mainly religious, and, you know, that it's unconstitutional, and, you know, that they're changing these things. And, you know, for somebody that was born in India, not really taking an Indian side to this at all. It's more of a religious side to it. And India is so diverse. You know, all the stuff we've done, you can see the diversity in India, the religious diversity, so many different people, different cultures, different religions, and, you know, there shouldn't be bloodshed over this. You know, Kashmir is part of India. It's been part of India since Pakistan attacked it. And, you know, there was the Article 370 and 35A was just supposed to be a temporary fix. It's part of India. It's always been part of India. And, you know, SADHGURU, for somebody who's a Hindu, like, spiritual leader, not like just, you know, regular person, that he's like the big guru, he didn't say one word about religion, right? He just talked about, this is India's problem. We need to work on stopping the bloodshed and getting the people to kind of agree. We don't want thousands of people to die again, over this. But we need to make our borders clear. Pakistan took part of Kashmir. China has a piece of it too. Like, what is left is part of India, and they need to figure out how to make it as great as the rest of India. And it's India's problem to decide how that's going to happen. So it's the end all result. We need not as much bloodshed. We need this to be resolved, peacefully. And, India, Modi, hopefully this will become a great thing for him that he can get under and work, and hopefully things will work out good. We don't want bloodshed in this. We want peace is the answer, and, we want things to work out well for India and all the people inside. It's not just, it's not about religion. Everybody in the world, we want peaceful answers. Gandhi's message has always been our praise here at the Jan family. So we want to support India any way we can. So keep sending us these links and keep sending us more information that you want us to react on. And we'll do some more on SADHGURU. We'll do some more on ZAKIR NAIK if you'd like. And let us know what you think in the comments below. Hope you like this.
Bye.